I want to talk about touch.
Yes.
So my partner loves to be touched. I mean this in a non-sexual way. If we are sitting in front of the TV, if I will trace my hand up and down his bare arm, he'll greedily roll his top up so I can get as much skin as possible, and he blisses out.
Yeah.
It seems to make him feel connected and loved and seen and all of that wholesome stuff. And it came to mind when I was reading the book. So I remember feeling, I was quite surprised by this when I first learned that about him. Not because I thought it was weird, but because I didn't experience that level of joy from being touched. I've always liked having my feet held, which my dad used to do when I was little, and it makes me feel safe. But that doesn't happen that often. Luca will do it. But the rest of me is quite numb.
Yeah.
And I'd like to hear from you, why do you think that women struggle with physical touch?
Yeah. So this was something that comes up a lot in the tantra retreats that I went to. This experience of me and also other women talking about this numbness and not feeling anything. And the tantra teacher Jan Day, who I studied with, who's a wonderful woman, but she explains that when we have maybe sometimes in the past experienced touch that wasn't right, or we were scared that we were going to experience touch that wasn't right, or just scared in general, if you think about a lot of our earlier physical experiences, there was quite a lot of fear attached to all of them, and this idea that touch will automatically lead to all these other things that you might not want. And so our bodies can sometimes get into the pattern of just shutting down, which is why we can sometimes just not really feel anything. And so it actually takes quite a lot of time and safe situations to learn how to feel again. And I think, again, as women, a lot of us have been conditioned into thinking, not worrying about taking up too much time, asking too much of somebody. In my head, I was always about, as soon as anyone did anything nice, I said, but I need to repay that straight away. So I wasn't actually allowing myself just to feel comforted and just sort of feel that. It was like, but now I need to do this. And so again, it's about unlearning some of the stuff that we might not even be conscious we're doing. But I've realised also, particularly between men and women, there can be a lot of unsafety can be sort of locked in our bodies that we don't even realise it's there. You can be with the most loving partner and not be feeling unsafe in that moment. But it's like our body stores everything. And so it's funny that when through the tantra experiences and through beautiful, loving touch, of course there's been times when I really learned, and I've just enjoyed it, and to be able to just enjoy touch that isn't necessarily leading anywhere. It's not now the prelude to this, which is what my brain was always going, and now we've got to do this and this. But just the innocence of just stroking each other is a joyful thing. And then sometimes it isn't joyful, sometimes it's sad. Because Jan talks about how when you're touching someone, you're touching more than their skin. You're touching their memories, you're touching their traumas. You're also, sometimes when I'm being touched really lovingly, it can bring up a lot of pain for the times that I didn't feel that. The times when things weren't so good. And so it's actually, there's so much in this. Like, just honestly, the simple act of stroking someone's arm can bring up so much. And for women, I think learning to just enjoy touch and to think we deserve to have, just someone stroke us for an hour and with nothing expected, that's massive. And when we're with the right people, they really do want to give that to us. And so it's our opportunity to let them and believe that they want to do that and to believe that we deserve it. And also to allow all the feelings of numbness and discomfort, that's there and that's part of it. And one of the things that we learn in Tantra is to name all those feelings. So even though someone's doing something lovely, we practice saying, I'm feeling really sad, or I can't feel anything, and that to be allowed. And actually, as soon as, you will know this as a therapist, but often as soon as we name something, it can then change into something else. You're not so locked in the, what's wrong with me? I can't feel anything.
Rumpelstiltskin.
Yeah. just name it and let it be. And but it's, I guess, the touch. I love that idea that when we're touching someone's skin, we're touching so much more than their skin. And as adults, we can unintentionally hurt each other by not really understanding what an impact we're having on each other. And because I wasn't aware of any of this. And so as much as possible, I'm realizing that gentleness and slowness has been really important. And so has touch that is not leading anywhere, that is not leading, it's not foreplay, it's not now on this path to all these other things, that it can just be the innocence of touch and being stroked and being hugged. It's been hugely nourishing. Like, it really makes my body feel safe and calm. And I think, it just takes away that pressure of touch having to be part of a context other than just touch. It can, so that's gorgeous that your partner can just enjoy that, just the comfort of that, and that he allows himself to enjoy it. And I think part of our challenge as women is sometimes to allow ourselves pleasure and to enjoy things and allow ourselves to take up time and to be served, because we're quite often used to being the ones that are doing the serving.
It's taken me to all these other places. I need to resist the urge to go off on random tangents. But one thing I wanted to mention that it just called to mind. First of all, when I was reading all of this, I loved all that stuff, and it really inspired me as well. And what I just realised just now, I had this wonderful experience. I mean, it wasn't a wonderful experience in general. I had a transnasal gastroscopy, which means that I had a tube put down my nose. And then down my throat, gagging all the way for a camera to look inside my stomach. Right? So the whole, and it's not a nice thing to do. But there were two nurses and the doctor in the room doing this. And one of the nurses' sole function was to stroke my hair.
Oh, wow.
And I wasn't warned that this was going to happen, which actually, now I think about it, it probably might have been nice for them to mention that, because you can't say anything.
Yeah.
But I didn't mind, because it was beautiful. She was stroking my hair and she was just saying, it's okay, you're doing well. And when it finished, they pulled the thing out. The first thing I said, I looked around and said, who was stroking my hair?
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Because it was so profoundly comforting.
Yeah.
That gentle, nurturing, motherly sort of touch. I was like, that was so important while lying on this horrible, scary bed in this dark room with an alien thing inside a part of my body that's never been intruded upon like that before.
Absolutely.
So beautiful.